Sometimes we have a peaceful moment, peaceful day, and it's fragile. Quickly, easily, if something happens, somebody says something to us, it's fragile right away. It's because we are not mindful. It's because we are not loving ourselves enough. We keep on pushing ourselves to the mud. Because we always react when the world throwing lemons at us. And this world will not stop throwing lemons at us. So how much energy do we have left to continue reacting on things coming to our life? We don't have that much energy. Ask ourselves. Back then, myself, I do a lot of landscaping at the temple. I carry heavy stuff, rocks. For myself, versus couple guys, I do a lot of heavy things. But now, carrying this rope with all these pins, and Sheriff and Mayor just added more pins on my rope. They proudly to added more weight to my rope. And my 2 bags on the shoulders, it wear me out every day. It's heavy. And my back is hurting. It's not like when we're still young, right? And look at us. Back then we still run, we can do a lot of things. And now we walk slowly, and now we have to be extra careful when carrying things. We are not young anymore. We getting older and older, aging. We suffer with this. We suffer with this. But we didn't realize that. So we don't have much energy left. We don't know when is our turn to leave this world. We really don't know. So are we waiting for that moment to come while we don't have anything for ourselves? I'm not talking about material. We can have a really fancy house, a lot of things in our house at home. But then, what about our mind? Because material cannot carry with us. We'll have to leave everything behind when we die. But only the things that will come with us and follow us life after life, which is our karma, which is our wholesome deeds. The thing that we have purified, letting go of all those things in our mind and have a clear mind, have a beautiful mind, a better mind to live with us, to come with us to our next life. For most of us, not Buddhism, a lot of us here are not Buddhism, and we are not talking about Buddhism. But in our belief, that is not the end. That is not the end. That is why the populations keep rising and rising. Right? So whatever we do in life, whatever we have right now, if we can live peacefully, we will have a better life next life. If we are not, then our future life will be terrible, because it will carry on. So in order for us to know our future life, look at what we are doing right now. That will tell us our future life. So we should only create wholesome deeds, not unwholesome. But in this life, because of materials, because of living, we chase after things, and we tend to forget ourselves a lot, most of the time. And so we are not mindful enough. That is why when things happen, we always react so quickly. And the more we react, the more suffer we are. That just adds more weight to our mind. right? In our life, we added a lot of things, unwholesome things into our mind. Just like this tree right here. These trees, plants right here. No leaves. We see no leaves, right? So the tree during the regular season, it has all kind of energies to support, to grow a lot of leaves. Is that right? The maple tree, same thing. And give us colorful colors, leaves, so that we can see. And at the winter right now, this is winter, look around us. All these trees are already shedded. No more leaves. Shedded all those leaves to conserve the energies for the next season, which is spring. It look like it's died, but it's not. Look like have no energy at all, but it's not. Deep inside of that tree, it has full of energy in there because right now it's conserving all those energy to prepare themselves to give more leaves, to give more colors during the spring and fall season. Same thing like us. The tree knowing when to shed the leaves, but we don't. We collect a lot of things to our head, to our mind, but we don't know when to shed it all. When to let it go. We keep on adding more to it, adding more to each and every day, and we don't know how to let it go. That is why we suffer. That is why we drain our energy. Not like the tree. We should be like the tree. Know when to spread that energy out to bear leaves and flowers, and know when to shed it all to conserve those energies for themselves. We should be like that. All those undesirable things in our life, all those hatred, angers, delusion, greedy things, we should know when is enough, when we need to let it go. We all want to have a peaceful life. Nobody wants to have a struggling life. It's just that we don't know how to do this. And it's been so long that all of us talking about peace and things like that, but we really don't know how and where to start. And so this is the time where I see myself for the last 3 years. And I'm now 17 years of ordination to become a monk. 17 years. After 17 years, I thought about this a lot. But for the last 3 years, especially during the pandemic, COVID-19, I have seen so much sufferings around me and wherever that I travel around the world for disaster relief with my foundation. And a lot of students, a lot of people came to the temple to see me and talk and ask for help because they have depression. After seeing all that, and I told myself, I really want to do something to support more people out there, not just a small community, not just staying at this temple to serve the small community. And I have lived with that mind, with that thought, for almost 3 years before I take on this journey. And when I took on this journey, for all of you to come out to support this mission, it tells me that I have done the right thing. It tells me that all of us need help, even myself. Seeing you suffer, I suffer. Seeing you cry, I cry. I'm just one person just like you are. It's just that somehow I cannot bear those feelings when I see so much people suffering around me. And while I am a Buddhist monk, I just stay there and then teach a little bit for the small community, and I couldn't do the thing that I really want to do. And somehow now I be able to stand in front of so many people to deliver the message like this. I feel grateful, and I thank for all of you to giving me this chance to share what I practice, what I gain in my life after practicing mindfulness meditation. And I have told a lot of the audience that mindfulness meditation has nothing to do with Buddhism. It's all about it, but then it's not the thing that is Buddha asked all of us to practice or convert to Buddhism. It has nothing to do with it. It's all about all human beings need help to clarify, to purify our mind, to have a better life, right? So this is not something about religion. This is not something about Buddhism at all. This is something that all beings need help right now. That is what and the key and the message that I brought to share with all of you. And hopefully within my walk, hopefully within my journey here, can share the message with some people and can be benefit to the people. Right? And so if we are here for the same mission, peace, then we should practice to purify our mind. Purify our mind is within our breath. It's nothing more than our breath. Because we are living in this world, we have our breath with us every single moment. It's just that we've forgotten it. We breathe in and we breathe out, just like a robot. We're not aware of our breath. So this is the time where we should be mindful with our breath. Breathe in and breathe out with awareness instead of just breathe to survive. So when we add awareness to our breath, to our breathing, this is when we calm our mind down. This is when we tie that monkey down, not to let that monkey mind jump in here and there anymore. All of us have the monkey mind. That monkey mind is always jumping, never want to stop at one place, never wants to live with this present moment. The monkey always work and think about the past, about the future. And the past is something that's already gone. We have a history. No one can change it. So we should just let it go instead of holding on to it. And the future is something that is not yet come. So we should just live with this present moment. So each and every breath we breathe in and breathe out, if we can be aware of those, it means that we live mindfully with this present moment here and now. When we live with this present moment, anything happen, we be able to reflect ourselves, we be able to see that right away, so we're not reacting. If things happen, if we could just take a deep breath and deep breath, we be able to calm our mind down. When our mind is calm, we will not react the way we used to be anymore, then we not suffer. This is something that we already have with us. It's just that we haven't had a chance to come back to practice on it. And we've been talking a lot about it, but not in action. This is the time that I really truly hope that every one of us will put it into action and make it happen for ourselves. In order for this world to be at peace, we have to make our world be at peace first. Our world is inside, not outside. Every single one of us have the world inside. That world also have the same thing as outside. Trees, weeds, flowers, cactus, animal, fruits, food, everything. Inside of this world have everything that same thing as the outside world. And especially inside of this world have a lot of wild animals. Greedy, hatred, anger, delusion, all those are wild animals. That wild animal can eat us up any time. Can chew the other at any time. If those animals if they are not trained, they are not under control, it will mess up everything. So we should train that animal to stay calm and stay at this present moment. Just like we train in our dog. Stay, sit, lying down, things like that. When it's well trained, it will not react, it will not jump after the object. Right? So I use those samples as our mind because our mind is very, very strong, and actually this mind can create a lot of things. It can bring tears to the world. It can also bring joy to the human, to the beings. So we should be only bring joys to the people, not tears. Right? And so for us to have a peaceful life, we really, really have to practice mindfulness within this breathing method. Breathe in, aware of that breath going in. Breathe out, aware of that going out. In, out, in, out. That's all we need to do. But when thought pop up, our mind have full of thoughts. When any thought pop up, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. We acknowledge of that thought. Come back here with the breathing again. And then breathe in, breathe out, another thought pop up, another thought pop up. All we need to do is just acknowledge it. And then come back to the breathing. When you hear noise, when you hear sound, acknowledge it as sound, come back here. Sensation on this face, on this body, acknowledge it as feeling. Observe it. And then come back here. This is how we train ourselves to bring the concentration back to this present moment. So that it cannot go back to the past. It cannot chase the future anymore. It's just gonna stay here at this present moment. We don't have this habit yet. Right? So we need to have this new habit to replace the old habit of heading out. Our old habit is to head out, not to come back. So now we train ourselves to come back. To come back. Bring it back. Keep bringing it back. One day you will see, you will live with mindfulness. You will live with this present moment. And then when you are at this present moment, somebody come to you and say something that you dislike. Instead of you react, you will give him a smile, give her a smile, and then come back to ourselves. Either you can feel your heartbeat, or you can check on your breathing, or take a deep breath, instead of react. That is how we keep ourselves from troubles. That I have mentioned so many times.
In a world that often measures progress by speed and conflict resolution by force, the wisdom shared by Bhikkhu Panikkara, the spiritual leader of the Walk for Peace, offers a profound counter-narrative. His address is not merely a speech about a physical journey across geography. It is a masterclass in the cartography of the human mind. Through the lens of Buddhist philosophy, or Dharma, the Venerable dissects the anatomy of suffering and offers a practical, if rigorous, prescription for liberation. The journey he describes is dualistic. There is the visible walk of miles and blisters, and the invisible walk of mindfulness and determination. To understand the walk for peace is to understand that peace is not a destination found on a map, but a frequency generated from within, requiring the discipline of a warrior and the gentleness of a gardener. The Venerable begins with a stark, almost surgical analysis of the consequences of conflict. He posits a triad of destinations for those who engage in verbal or physical fighting: the hospital, the jail, or the funeral. This is the samsaric cycle of violence distilled to its brutal essence. In the Buddhist view, conflict arises from the three poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion. When these poisons manifest as physical aggression, the karmic result is immediate and tangible suffering. By outlining these grim physical destinations, Bhikkhu Panikkara strips away the romanticism of fighting for one's rights, or the glorification of anger. He presents a binary choice: the path of external conflict, which leads to confinement or death, and the path of internal peace, which leads to liberation. This sets the stage for the primary thesis of his teaching, that peace always begins from within. It is an internal construct that projects outward, not an external condition that we wait to arrive. The walk, therefore, serves as a physical manifestation of this internal cultivation. The monks are not walking to find peace, they are walking to generate it. This generation of peace requires a specific type of fuel, and here the analysis shifts to the relationship between the body and the mind. The Venerable notes his own physical transformation, the loss of weight and the visible skinniness, yet highlights a paradox. Despite a calorie deficit and a lack of protein, the energy to walk persists. From a Western physiological perspective, this seems contradictory. However, from a Dharma perspective, this is a testament to the power of anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing. The breath is not merely oxygen exchange, it is the bridge between the conscious and subconscious, the body and the mind. By focusing on the breath, the monks access a reservoir of qi, or vital energy that transcends caloric intake. This phenomenon points to the supremacy of the mind over matter. When the mind is scattered, energy dissipates. When the mind is focused through the breath, energy is conserved and channeled. This is the essence of right concentration, samma samadhi. The physical depletion of the body becomes irrelevant when the determination of the mind is absolute. This brings us to the concept of adhithana, or strong determination. The Venerable emphasizes that mindfulness is not a passive state but an active, determined choice. One must decide, with unwavering resolve, to change one's life, starting from today. This echoes the Buddhist teaching on the urgency of practice. We cannot wait for conditions to be perfect to practice peace. The determination must be unconditional. Regardless of what happened to my life, I will have to practice this. I will not give up. This is the warrior spirit of the Bodhisattva, in a culture that often equates letting go with passivity. This teaching clarifies that spiritual surrender requires immense active effort, right effort, samma vayama. It takes more strength to hold one's tongue than to lash out. It takes more power to remain calm than to explode. The walk, therefore, is a training ground for this willpower, proving that the mind's intent can carry the body long after the muscles have fatigued. To illustrate the difficulty of this mental training, Bhikkhu Panikkara employs the metaphor of the bathroom mirror, a domestic image that resonates deeply with the lay audience. He observes that while we obsessively clean the physical debris from our bathroom mirrors, toothpaste, water spots, to see our physical reflection clearly, we almost never clean the mirror of the mind. We allow the trash of daily interactions, insults, and negativity to accumulate on our consciousness for weeks, months, or even years. This accumulation obscures our inner child, or our true nature, Buddha nature. The discrepancy between our physical hygiene and our mental hygiene is the root of much modern suffering. We present a polished exterior to the world while carrying a toxic interior. The trash he speaks of, past grievances, harsh words from others, is what Buddhism identifies as mental defilements, kilesas. The Venerable asks a piercing question. Why do we keep this trash? Why do we let negative words enter one ear and lodge themselves in the heart, rather than letting them pass out the other ear? This speaks to the concept of upadana, or clinging. We cling to our pain because it defines us, or because we feel a perverse justification in our victimhood. But the Dharma teaches that this clinging is optional. The teaching here is radical responsibility. If someone offers you a gift of insults and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? It remains with the giver. By refusing to record deeply the negative events of life, we practice the art of letting go. This is not suppression. It is a refusal to metabolize poison. The effort required to clean a mirror that has been dirty for a month is immense, involving scrubbing and chemicals. Similarly, the effort to heal a trauma held for decades is gigantic. The wisdom lies in cleaning the mirror immediately, wiping the mind clean in the very moment a negative event occurs, keeping the consciousness fresh and pure, like the morning air. The mechanics of this suffering are further elaborated through the metaphor of the rope of fire. Bhikkhu Panikara tells the audience, "If I throw you a rope of fire, it's your choice to hold it or not." This is a visceral representation of reaction versus response. In our daily lives, people constantly throw ropes of fire at us: road rage, rude emails, criticism. The instinctive, unconditioned reaction is to grab the rope, to fight back, to defend, to argue. But the moment we grab the rope, we burn. We become barbecue. The peace we seek is lost not because the other person threw the fire, but because we chose to catch it. This aligns with the teaching of the second arrow in Buddhism. The first arrow is the painful event, the insult, the traffic jam. This is inevitable and constitutes about 10% of our suffering. The second arrow is our reaction to it, the anger, the rumination, the self-pity. This is self-inflicted and constitutes the remaining 90%. The Venerable argues that we lack self-love because we constantly choose to burn ourselves with these ropes. True self-love is not a spa day or a treat. It is the discipline of not picking up the burning rope. It is the protection of one's own peace of mind above the need to be right or the need to retaliate. To barbecue oneself is an act of violence against the self. By refusing to engage in the drama, we do not become passive doormats, rather, we preserve our energy and clarity. This non-engagement is a high form of compassion for oneself. It allows the fire of the other person to burn out for lack of fuel, whereas engaging only spreads the conflagration. However, the modern world presents a unique obstacle to this practice: a lover that accompanies us everywhere, even to the restroom. The cell phone. The Venerable's characterization of the phone as a lover is both humorous and devastatingly accurate. We are intimate with it. We gaze at it first thing in the morning and last thing at night. We cannot bear to be separated from it. This lover, however, is a primary source of distraction and agitation. It facilitates the multitasking that fractures our attention. In Buddhist psychology, the mind can only be aware of one object at a single moment. Sattva arises and passes away one at a time. Multitasking is a delusion. It is simply rapid, exhausting switching of attention. When we eat while watching a movie, we are neither truly eating nor truly watching. We live in a state of continuous partial attention, which leads to memory loss, anxiety, and a fundamental disconnection from reality. This fragmentation of attention is the enemy of peace. If we cannot read a book for an hour without checking for the lover's vibration, we have lost sovereignty over our own minds. The prescription offered is a digital detox and a return to unitasking. To be mindful is to do one thing at a time with full presence. When walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. This simplicity is deceptive. It requires enormous restraint in an age of dopamine addiction. The Venerable specifically advises removing the lover 1 hour before sleep to allow the mind to settle. This is essentially a practice of sense restraint, indriya samvara. protecting the sense doors from the flood of information that agitates the mind before rest. Without this boundary, the trash of the internet infiltrates our subconscious dreams, and we wake up already burdened. To counteract the entropy of daily life, Bhikkhu Panikkara proposes a ritual of intention setting. He suggests a specific, actionable practice, writing down and speaking the phrase, "Today is going to be my peaceful day." This is not merely positive thinking, it is the planting of a karmic seed. In Buddhism, satana, volition, intention, is the creator of karma. By generating a strong, clear intention immediately upon waking, we give the mind a job to do. The mind is a tool that requires direction. If we do not give it a constructive task, it will default to its habit patterns of worry, judgment, and chewing on trash. By declaring the day to be peaceful, we set a filter for our perception. When challenges arise, the ambulance siren, the traffic, the mind checks them against the morning's mission statement. Is getting angry at this consistent with my peaceful day? The answer is no, and the rope of fire is dropped. This practice emphasizes that we are the architects of our own experience. No one in this world can mess it up except us. This is a statement of ultimate empowerment. We often blame our stress on our boss, our spouse, or the economy, but the Venerable insists that while we cannot control the events, the 10%, we have absolute authority over the reception of those events, the 90%. The universe, he suggests, responds to this vibration. When we emit a frequency of peace, we invite a response of peace. This is the law of resonance. We are not begging a deity for a good day. We are creating the conditions for it through our own mental discipline. The conclusion of the Venerable's message expands the scope from the individual to the collective. The walk for peace is a microcosm of the world we desire. He notes the diversity of the crowd, different races, religions, and backgrounds, united by a single common denominator, the desire for peace. He posits that beneath the theological differences of Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and Taoism, there is a universal religion. This is the religion of loving kindness, metta, and compassion, karuna. The temples and churches are merely external structures. The true temple is the mind itself. When the mind is at peace, every step is a prayer. He calls on the audience to walk, in spirit, with the monks. This is a crucial instruction. One does not need to physically walk 14 miles to participate. To walk in spirit means to apply the principles of the walk, mindfulness, patience, non-reactivity, to the mundane test of driving home in traffic. The traffic jam becomes the dojo. The aggressive driver becomes the teacher. If one leaves the peace rally and immediately honks in anger, the walk has failed. The true test of spirituality is not how one feels during a sermon, but how one behaves in the parking lot afterwards. Ultimately, the journey described by Bhikkhu Panikkara is a legacy project. It is about preparing a better world for future generations. But this future is not built by grand treaties or political revolutions alone. It is built by the cumulative effect of millions of individuals deciding, one by one, to drop the rope of fire and clean the mirror of their own minds. Peace is contagious. When we are peaceful, our family feels it, our neighbors feel it, and society shifts. The walk for peace is a reminder that while the road is long and the body may be frail, the determined mind, fueled by breath and guided by wisdom, has the power to transform not only itself but the very world it walks upon. The destination is not a place, but a state of being, available to us all, right here, right now, in the very next breath.